social factors influencing grief and bereavement. Bronfenbrenner's ecological model is comprised of 5 distinct environmental layers: microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem. Collectively, these shape an individual's development over a lifetime. An analysis of the chronosystem helps developmental psychologists understand how profound events sometimes affect a person's development over time. For example, each surviving member of my family was fragmented in their own individual reaction to my daughter's fatal car accident in 1996. This fragmentation influenced each member individually and collectively, and dramatically altered the dynamics of our familial relationships. My surviving daughter developed cancer. My surviving spouse died from cancer. My sons and I survived physically, but we are still affected psychologically and socially from the cumulative loss influenced from the trauma of losing my 18-year-old daughter. Next, the biopsychosocial paradigm is a theoretical perspective on health and wellness developed by Dr. George L. Engel. The biopsychosocial model is an approach that believes biological, psychological, and social factors all play a significant role in human functioning in the context of wellness and illness. For example, a biopsychosocial approach in addressing the grief process might be influenced by coping strategies and decision-making processes, which often influence grief. A supportive peer group or community group would be a sociological factor to consider in the recovery process of the loss of a loved one. All 3 factors would need to be taken into consideration to develop a treatment and recovery strategy. The person and environment perspective is a social work framework that considers people in the broad context of their environment: familial, institutional, physical, spiritual, social, cultural, and political. Grief and trauma reactions are natural responses to critical life events. Loss and trauma are not restricted to death, but consist of a broader spectrum of occurrences across the lifespan. Loss and trauma are not restricted to psychological level, but can be at the social and collective level. All 3 theoretical frameworks are valuable in how a person copes with grief and bereavement. The first perspective, Bronfenbrenner's ecological model, I believe has the advantage over the other approaches in its ability to explore resilience at an individual and community level. Resilience has repeatedly been found to rest on relationships between social and community infrastructure factors. This is applicable to the experience I used to illustrate this model. The fatal accident that occurred in '96, which permanently altered my life and the lives of my family and social community when my daughter was suddenly killed in an auto accident. The sense of grief and bereavement experienced from this severe trauma and the cumulative after effects on various levels and the added resilience of the survivors is ongoing. Engel's biopsychosocial model examines individual biological human health and illness along with attendant psychological dynamics within the larger sociological context of society, and the person and environment framework considers people in the broad context of their environment through research, evidence, clinical expertise, and patience. All 3 of these models are very valuable. However, I believe Bronfenbrenner's ecological model encompasses most everything that one would need.